I'm lonely. I'm lonely.
No, you can't do that
I'm
one.
lonely. I can. I've done it.
No.
So M thought it was, I'm horny. I'm horny. And she belted it out in the car. I remember we were driving in London somewhere. She belted it out. And I just was like,
Are you all right? You have a moment.
what's going on? And she's like, I'm just singing the song. I was like, no. But also, when you then try to correct her, she's adamant that she's right.
You're listening to the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast, hosted by Tom and Em.
We're a married couple that work in the wedding industry, and we're here to chat all things wedding. This is a shambles of a podcast already. Hello!
Hey, and welcome back to the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. Well, you mean business today?
What?
You have a polo shirt
I
on.
do. I've put a collar on for you. Anyone on YouTube or on Spotify, sorry. I've put a polo shirt on because it does have the Rockets Collective logo on it for a few reasons. It's coincidence, really. I've been doing slammed back to back on the hour every hour today from 12 until 8 of
Yeah.
client calls for the Rockets. So
Yeah.
or potential client calls. We've had
Well, a bit of both, really.
yeah,
You've had a couple of pre-wedding ones as well, haven't you?
one today.
We've had one pre-wedding today.
Yeah, one today, but the rest of them are all potential clients that have got in touch. We've had a reel go really well on TikTok. Is it called a reel on TikTok?
No, it's just a TikTok.
A TikTok. We've had a TikTok. You can tell I don't do our social media. We've had a TikTok do really well,
Yeah.
and it's just made the inbox explode. So if you want us and you're listening, you need to get in touch fairly quickly.
Yeah, we
but
are filling up quickly.
25, 26, and I think I've said it before, 27 as well. So
We also had an inquiry for 2034.
2034
Yeah, I did email them and say, is this the correct date?
must have been a typo.
And it was a typo, but
Good.
I really enjoyed that one.
Good.
I was like, good planning, very organised.
Too organised.
Yeah,
Not been changed in
imagine.
10 years.
10 years.
But we have
Wow.
inquiries for Crete, for Germany, for America.
And so we've had,
Quite a lot for
I'm
America.
going to say, I can think of 4 separate places that we've had for America.
Crete, Germany, Mallorca, Italy and Spain, but we get quite a few of those.
Yeah, we get those anyway.
So
Look at,
look at
yeah,
us.
we
Oh,
get those anyway.
But we love going to Italy and Spain.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I have the polo shirt on. But conveniently, we're also talking about entertainment today.
Yeah.
But before we get started,
Yeah.
on the day that this releases,
Yeah.
happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
We have been married for, well, on Wednesday, which when you'll be listening / watching to this, we'll have been married for 3 years.
Yeah. Together for?
9 years.
Correct.
Good memory. You'll have to forgive me, I am quite tired today.
Yeah, it's been a week.
It's been with the inbox going crazy,
Yeah.
and then we've done
Technically, 2 reels have gone viral now.
2 reels have done really well, and then 2 TikToks.
2 reels, 2 TikToks, you've got me in it.
Come on. You've got to use the lingo. But then with a run of gigs that have taken us from pretty much down in Southampton all the way up to the Lake District and back
Yeah.
again and everywhere else in between. It's been, and then I helped my brother move house on Sunday night after getting back from the Lake District to London.
Yeah, I really don't understand how that
I had a van.
happened.
No,
I understand that you had a van, but actually,
I said I'd do it.
physically, you were like,
Oh yeah, I don't know how I got
let's
through
go.
that.
You
I just
know
had a
what
great Thai takeaway afterwards. It was banging. It was really
jealous
good.
about that.
But it's convenient that we're talking about entertainment because we've had some amazing weddings this last week with the Rockets Collective. However, however's the wrong word. Continuing from that, we finished in the Lake District for Chris and Hannah's wedding at Silverhome Manor. Really stunning views over the Lake Windermere. Really, really beautiful looking
It
venue.
was very, very aesthetically pleasing.
It was very aesthetically pleasing. And they came up with something that I've never seen before. So our sax player, Zach, big up, he played them into their wedding breakfast. He played This Girl by Kungs, I think it's called. Dun, dun, da, 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 dun, da, 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 dun. That video. But if you go on the Rockets Instagram or TikTok, you'll be able to see it. But what they did was, you know, the napkins thing, where you get people swinging
Yeah.
napkins on their head, and as a host, I do that a lot. They had personalised, like the size of a pencil, maybe a little bit less, maracas Everybody got their own maraca
Oh, that's
with,
cute.
their initials on it, and that was on top of their. So when we were talking about entrances and that, I know they didn't want the napkins because everyone had a maraca, and it was a very noisy and very energetic wedding. But their guests definitely understood the assignment.
Oh,
Really,
I love
really brilliant. And
that.
so go and check it out on our socials. But it was brilliant fun. So the maraca is a great shout.
Good.
What are you laughing at?
Yeah.
What?
I can see the tiredness behind his eyes.
I don't know what you mean. I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Is that the word?
want to say,
Is
yeah.
that the phrase?
Yeah. I also want to say that I've been getting a lot of videos forwarded to me and sending from people that are listening of like little wedding tips and tricks. So stay tuned because I will be sharing those.
Oh, yeah. They're going to go all over our stories soon.
Yeah.
On our Instagram. For the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. And also, we are going to start putting together some of our own tips and stuff as well. Not just on the podcast, I think.
Probably
YouTube shorts or little kind of like 5-minute podcasts, not podcasts, but little shorts on Spotify and things like
Yeah.
that. So they'll be really, really useful. But anyway, we need to start talking about entertainment now.
Woohoo! Are we going to do a quick recap first? Why are we talking about entertainment?
Oh, good shout, because we're in the Big Four.
We are in the Big Four.
We've done the venue. We've done, last week was
catering
with the adaptly named Food Glorious Food podcast. I thought that was great. This week, we're on to entertainment.
Let me
entertain you.
Perfect.
Good. Who sang it?
Don't say
Come
that.
on, man. Who sang it? Who sang Let Me Entertain You?
I want to say Robbie Williams.
There you go. Back yourself. Robbie Williams.
That
Okay.
got me nervous for a second.
Robbie Williams.
You know this about me. I could sing back more songs or sing along to more songs.
You pick your own lyrics. Em's got this fantastic habit of making up the lyrics or the lyrics that she thinks the correct lyrics would be.
I hear them wrong. I'm dyslexic. I can't help it.
And then belting them.
Yeah, sing it with confidence.
Belting them. So there's that song that goes, it swears in it, so I'm not going to do that, but it goes, I'm lonely.
No, you can't do that
I'm
one.
lonely. I can. I've done it.
No.
So Em thought it was, I'm horny. And she belted it out in the car. I remember we were driving in London somewhere. And she belted it out. And I just was like,
Are you all right? You have a moment?
what's going on? And she's like, I'm just singing the song. I was like, no. But also, when you then try to correct her, she's adamant that she's right. And then we had to go.
Because that's what I heard.
No, that's fine. But the lady one is, instead of lady, hear me tonight, you sing lately after midnight.
I do. Lately. After midnight.
Anyway, we won't bore the listeners with our voices. You have a very good voice, though.
Thanks.
I'm just going to put this out there for anyone that doesn't know.
No. We're moving on. Moving on from
No,
this week's podcast.
anyone that doesn't know, Em is a grade 8 classical singer. And
We are never doing these podcasts when you're tired ever again.
Why?
It's just like there's so much divulging that's coming out of your mouth.
Verbal. Bleh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thanks.
but we spend 7 minutes not talking about what we're supposed to talk about.
I mean,
So-
technically, we are entertaining.
Toby, are you tired as well?
I'm just, yeah.
Anyway, so we're doing the Big Four. We're on
Correct.
3 of the Big Four.
Yeah.
So in the next episode will be photo and video media.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm biased, but I think if you speak to most people that have got married, and obviously we've got married as well, if you speak to most people that got married or have been married, entertainment will make or break your wedding day.
1000% agree.
Like, it just will. No, and caterers, I'm just going to put this, I'm really sorry. Most people, they don't come out of a wedding the next day when they've had too many to drink and they've got a sore head the next day. They're saying, John, that chicken breast was amazing. They come out saying, that party was the one.
Yeah. They do. I'm sorry.
It's just the way it goes. But obviously, I'm a little bit biased. But we're going to keep this episode relatively.
This is so joke.
This is a shambles of a podcast already. But we're going to keep this episode fairly concise, if we can do that, because we aim for about half an hour, 40 minutes, and most of our podcasts are an hour. But anyway, because we would like to do future episodes and break down entertainment, so evening and daytime and hosting and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I am going to include hosting in the entertainment.
I think it is entertainment.
But what I'm not going to include is like magicians and things like that, because whilst that is entertainment, I wouldn't include booking a magician in your big four.
I would agree. I think that comes
Or
later.
like they're called live painting, like live art. You know, when they
I
paint
love them.
a scene
but
from
yes,
the wedding. Yeah. But it's not like, oh, we've just booked our venue, we need to book a painter.
Yeah.
You need to book your entertainment. Yeah. So we'll do a separate episode on whatever we're going to kind of other entertainment, let's call it.
Yeah.
But we'll find a better title. But I think I'd like to say fairly well placed to talk about this.
I would say yes.
Yeah. So, Em, you're going to jump in whenever you can.
Just so you don't get bored of hearing his voice, really.
Like you do most times.
Yep.
Anyway. Again, though, we're splitting this down into the little categories or the little steps that we reckon are part of the big four booking
So
process.
how many steps is there?
There's 4. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, go
They
on.
tested me. There's the pre-hunt, so what you want to do, like you need to make decisions aligning that vision we spoke about in episode 1. And then there's the hunt, the actual looking and researching for supplier, so in this form, entertainment. There's booking in a call, so getting that call done and really understanding what the supplier needs, what they do, how they can help you on your wedding day. And then there's the decision and booking process, and with that, somewhere in between the call and the booking process, there's questions that you need to be asking as well.
Yeah, we'll just do a quick fire round
Quick
of
fire round of questions.
questions at the end.
So, entertainment, we've said, will make or break your wedding day. Before you book, just like any other supplier, you need to put a budget on it.
I would agree.
But
A rough budget.
a rough budget, but I think a well-informed budget.
Yeah.
Because if you're like the Rockets, for example, if you're like, we want a 12-piece band at our wedding, and we reckon we can get that for 1,500 quid. That's not a well-informed budget decision, because that doesn't happen. But if you're like, oh, we've got a budget of £1,000 and we want a 3-piece band, or we want a DJ or something like that, then that is a well-informed decision.
Definitely.
So I think
Can you give us a rough ballpark figure, not for the Rockets necessarily, but if you're wanting live entertainment, like an actual band,
Yeah.
what realistically are you looking for? Like a low to high?
Okay, so
Say standard.
It's varying. You can there's bands out there, there's show bands out there that will charge you £20,000, and I genuinely mean that.
No, I know that.
£20,000 for a wedding plus. But then you could easily book a 3-piece average wedding band for £800-900, maybe £1,000.
Okay.
But entertainment is you get what you pay for, up to a point. I mean, I wouldn't say there's much difference in between the Rockets Collective and those bands that are charging 20 grand, but financially there's a lot in between us.
There's a few numbers.
There's a few numbers in between us. But I wouldn't say that that is like a get what you pay, but up to a point you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And obviously that changes for DJs as well.
I
but
also,
it's the same.
with the higher costing ones, the most likely it's because they've got a name behind them as well.
Yeah, 100%. You're paying for the people are paying for
the
to
brand.
have that brand and to have that name. It's like going and buying a Nike tracksuit compared to a George tracksuit from Asda.
Oh,
You know me. I know how to dress, clearly. But yeah, I think there's a massive sliding scale from there, and people will use terminology that doesn't necessarily apply to them, like the word show band. People will try calling themselves a show band when they're not. People will try calling themselves like a DJ and host, for example, when they're not. They're a DJ and they just announce you onto the dance floor for your first dance.
right.
That kind of thing, right?
And this is where your questions come into play, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Questions we'll touch on later on, but that's where you would really have to hone down on what they actually do.
So just very briefly then, I suppose, what is the difference between like a wedding band, a function band, and a show band?
So I would say a wedding band is a function band.
Yeah.
Because a function band will do other things apart from wedding.
Yeah.
I think a function band is quite a broad term. A function band is a band that plays at events, including weddings.
Okay.
So like the Rockets Collective, whilst we are a show band, technically we're a function band because we do a lot of corporate work as well.
Okay.
Okay, but
So what's the show band?
a
then?
show band is one, the clues in the name, the show that you get, but also it's the extra bits, it's the medleys, it's the roaming musicians, it's the attention to detail that you get, it's the communication and the trust that you build up with. So in the Rockets example, the Rockets collective case, for example, the trust that you build up with me and you, and then all the extras that it can do during the day. So the Rockets Collective, we specialise, it is our like forte in looking after your whole wedding day.
Yeah.
So we will host your wedding day, we'll play in your ceremony, during your drinks reception, during your wedding breakfast, during the turnaround, during obviously the band in the evening, late night DJs, staging, all of that kind of stuff. We can do all of that.
Like a full package.
It is, yeah, the complete wedding entertainment specialist, like that we've kind of tagged ourselves on, but it rings true. And I think you'll find a lot of show bands will do that, but it's more just the feel, the look, the quality.
Yeah.
But because people are putting out like a 9-piece band, they call it a show band, but it's not really. So just something to be aware of. But I would class them as a function band or a wedding band.
Mm.
Okay. So hopefully that kind of answers that.
Yeah.
With regards to, so we've discussed budget. You need to discuss your vibe.
Yeah.
Because certain bands, I'm going to talk about DJs as well, might not be the right vibe for you. Do you thrive on that kind of like that being entertained, not just having a dance? If you just want to have a dance and get drunk, book a DJ. But if you're like, do you want to be wowed? Do you want to be entertained? Do you want to have musicians on the dance floor?
That personal.
Yeah. Do you want
touch,
like to turn around and as a bride, for example, or a groom, and see the sax player on the dance floor? Do you want to have your musicians getting everyone doing dance moves, rapping along? So we do one of our in the middle of Uptown Funk. When we do Uptown Funk, we drop into the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap, and it gets everybody going. So do you want that kind of thing? Are you prioritising entertainment? If you're prioritising entertainment, you'll be booking a band.
Yeah. Okay.
But make sure you get the vibe right. So, for example, the Rockets are quite in the way that we dress, for example, it's black suits, it's white shirts, it's bow ties. But we can change that at the client request, but as standard, that's what we're going to be wearing.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of bands that will go for...
Your male singer doesn't, though.
Pardon?
Your male singer doesn't.
Sometimes. He started wearing a dicky bow.
No, I was talking about jacket.
Depends how hot he gets. But he's got a different jacket.
He's got
a
two,
sparkly black jacket or a purple jacket, depending on the vibe and the client request. But a lot of the smaller bands, for example, like the indie rock bands, the 3, 4, 5 pieces, they'll be in just like a pair of trousers and a shirt, or black denim jeans and a shirt, or maybe jeans and a blazer or something like that. So it depends on the vibe that you're after as well.
Yeah.
But that vibe from a music perspective and from a aesthetic perspective, is something that I think you really need to address pretty early on, because you know what you're going to be looking at.
I was about to say, if you don't know those sort of things, you're not going to be able to...
You'll be stabbing in the dark, and it'll just be really overwhelming.
Yeah, because there's a lot out there.
There's so many entertainers out there for the wedding world, of which are good and which are bad. Like, that's not for me to make that decision, but there's a lot out there.
And then just really what you're looking for, I suppose. So, is it just evening that you're looking for? Is it actually, as the Rockets do, is it all day sort of entertainment?
And or you're looking for flexibility.
Yeah.
So I know a few bands that are like, this is what we do. If you don't like it, we're not the band for you. Are you looking for someone that will flex their products? So the Rockets, we're very kind of, you have to have the band in the evening, but after that we encourage all day. But if you're like, actually, you know what, it doesn't work for budgets, or it's not what we want, or we'd like a friend to sing us down the aisle, for example, then that's okay. That's okay by us.
Yeah.
There are certain things that I wouldn't ask a friend to do. I'd ask a professional to do. Like
I agree.
The band in the evening. And if you're going to have any entertainment during the wedding breakfast, things like that. Even hosting, it's really nice and personal to have a friend do it. But that friend also wants to enjoy that wedding day.
I was about to say, it depends what your friend's personality is like, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
If they feel comfortable, if they don't. Like, if it was, I don't know, say one of your best mates gets married, it's like, Tom, would you mind hosting the wedding? Then I'd be like, yeah,
makes sense
yeah, because you do it.
because that's my job. But like for some people, it might be your
But if
best
you ask
mate.
me, I'd be like,
No, it's probably not your bag.
No.
So it's making sure that person, if you're going to have a friend, is confident on a microphone and knows what they're doing and plans
Yeah.
it and knows what's involved and is prepared to do it even later on in the night. Whereas having a professional do it is obviously,
Takes
again,
that stress
biased,
off,
but it takes
doesn't
the
it?
stress off and you'll see the difference.
Yeah,
You really, really will.
definitely.
But you're right. Do you want evening? Do you want daytime? Do you want everything?
Yeah.
For example, the Rockets, I can count on one hand the time that we've taken just daytime entertainment.
Mm.
And it would have to be like a Wednesday in November for that to happen.
Yeah, we
Because
just don't
we are a
really.
show band, that's what we do,
Yeah.
and everything else comes with it. It's not like we won't rock up and... We've only ever done it once where we rocked up and just did a ceremony. And that was a last-minute booking
Yeah.
for somebody that had to move their wedding forward for health reasons. And I'd like to... I thought I'd like to do that. So, yeah, that's the only time we've ever done that. But if you're looking for just daytime entertainment, for example, because you've got a DJ at your venue in the evening, you need to look for suppliers that are okay to do that. So, yeah. That's before you book. Now we're on to the hunt. And I've written this in big block capitals at
It
about
has.
50 font size, bigger than everything else. Don't, if you can avoid it, don't use agencies. And the agencies will, of course, say, no, think of X, Y, and Z of why it's useful. You pay at least 20% more for them to pen push. Yes, I get it's easier. You can go straight to them and just trawl through a website. However, so there are some agencies, I don't get contact with the couple until like 8 weeks before the wedding. That's scary for me, let alone for
A couple.
the couple. We're on a few agency websites. We're really not on that many with the Rockets Collective. But we don't have to change our name.
2. Yeah.
So on one of the agency websites, we're called the Treasure Collective.
It always really baffles me when it comes through on an email. I'm like, who is this? Oh, right.
And because you as a couple, if we use our name, the Rockets Collective, on an agency website, you would then just be like, oh, I'll see if they're on Google, type them in,
Yeah.
and then bypass the agency, which is what I want you to do. I want you to bypass the agency. But because it works out better for everybody involved, you will pay less and we're not restricted. And when someone books the Rockets for an agency, I don't get to have the chat with them, the video call that I normally do and discuss what they want and really personalise their entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a bit more kind of clinical, black and white. This is what it is. This is how much it costs, kind of thing.
I also think there's one more that's come into my mind about agency bands, which is Faces.
Faces band. Faces bands are massive. Now, at the Rockets, we do our best to provide the musicians that you see in videos. Obviously, that changes because people are allowed to take holiday and annual leave. People get ill, especially like right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm still going to be at all the weddings that I've got this week, but like in the summer season, some people do get a little bit ill because it's
Run
relentless.
down. Yeah.
It is relentless working in the wedding industry in the summer. But then January to March, like we just sit and do admin.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, you guys are so busy," I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." But obviously, there are 3-4 months of the year that we're not. So it's, if anyone wants to get married in January, let me know. But people do get ill and things like that. But with agencies, you cannot guarantee that that is even a priority of the band, if that makes sense. So I've done gigs before when I first left university.
I was going to say this one.
I've done a Faces gig where we rocked up.
But you didn't know it was a Faces
I
gig
didn't know.
when
I
you
just
were there.
was being contacted by someone, and I rocked up, and everybody in the band was a face, or a dep, it's called in the music industry, where nobody knew each other. And then you're expected to play songs and crack on. And it's just, for me, that's lying.
Yeah.
For me, that's lying. And I think, unless we have a group of musicians, and you'll get one of these people, I think that's okay. And I think it doesn't matter as much when it comes to instrumentalists, but when it comes to singers and things like that, some people pick, like, a lot of people pick the Rockets because of our guys.
Yeah,
They're very
I'd
good.
say that.
They're very good. All 4 of our main vocalists are very, very talented.
They're all very talented.
So, and then when we do have to not use one of them, I think you need to find a band that will be fairly open about that.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to change it. It's too late in the day to change the contract and things like that. But like, it's just something to be aware of.
Yeah.
Definitely just something to be aware of. But in the agency world, that's the norm.
And so that's just,
That
that's
is
just
the norm.
really abnormal.
So please, I implore you, don't use agencies if you can avoid it. Put the time into researching. Look at bands, okay? Go to wedding shows. Look at Instagram. The best thing to do, we get loads of work doing it this way, is actually 1, recommended supplier lists at venues, but the main one, look at the venue's Instagram and what they've been tagged in. We normally tag the venue in every post that we do.
I think it's important too.
Yeah, but like, it's a really good way to find out what suppliers have worked there before and to discover new suppliers.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good idea. And on that, check social media as a whole. Don't just check the things that they've been tagged in. Check the
Their
suppliers.
page, yeah.
The pages that they've been tagged by.
Yeah.
But their page especially. Check that what they're saying on their website is the same as what they're. There are some bands out there that have recorded incredible promotional videos, but they're quite ropey. And I would prioritise a band that has a good mix of live audio and trending audio. There's always a debate in the wedding industry, like for or the entertainment world, like we're trying to get as big as we can on Instagram and TikTok to reach more people, and you have to do that through trending audio. But then it's really important that you guys get to hear us as well.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line to tread, but make sure if it's all just pictures and then the only thing you get to see is a promotional video, you need to ask for some phone footage or ask for some live footage.
I also
think.
think with how many posts they do as well. So if the page has only got, like, common sense, if they've only got 5 posts and they're all pictures, red flag.
Probably haven't been going for that long.
Yeah.
They'll be cheap, which might be a vibe for you, but they probably haven't been going for that long.
Yeah.
But
also check the reviews as well.
Yeah, so some of them will be on social media, but Google review pages, check them on their websites and things like that. Like for me personally, for the Rockets or for us, like we really work hard to achieve good reviews. Like they come naturally because we were good at our jobs, but as in like after, we'd be super grateful if you could leave us a review because they will make or break whether we work. They just will. So the reviews, especially Google reviews or Trustpilot or things like that, they really ring true. So please do check them out. And you can tell when someone's just got really frustrated at something small.
Yeah.
And like we had one where there was a dispute over being organised about our catering for the we got for a band. But then actually it was really difficult to tell them because what we were doing was a surprise.
Chucks.
So I'm like, I don't really think that's fair. But anyway, it's fine.
You're always going to have a bad review.
Yeah. But you can tell when it's just being a bit silly. To
be fair, it wasn't a bad review. That was
it was still a 5-star review. But
yeah.
Read the reviews.
Yeah.
Just read the reviews and search and hunt reviews and things like that. There are pages on Facebook for like wedding scammers and things like that. Not for them to all be a group, but people that have been scammed by people. And,
they're all sat
let's
in
just
a
all
Facebook
congregate
group.
and chat about how we're going to scam
How
people.
are we going to do this next time?
But no, for people that have been scammed or feel like they might be getting scammed, use those to check whether people are legit. I don't think you need to do it, but if you've just got an inkling, might be worth just...
You always have a gut feeling.
But then the reviews mostly will do that anyway.
Yeah.
And then you need to look at the packages that they offer. So
see if they do.
See if they do offer packages for one, and this is the whole daytime evening thing and things like that. Do, as standard in the evening, do they come with like some sort of music in between sets for the live band? Does the DJ bring any lighting in? Does the band bring any lighting in? All of that kind of stuff. But also, what can they offer you? Like, are you finding a band that will just do the evening? Or are you finding a band that just does the daytime? Or are you finding a supplier that just, like I said, just does all day, but this is exactly how we're going to do it? Or have you got someone like the Rockets, which does all day, but can be really flexible in what we offer?
Yeah.
So for each part of the day, we've got at least 3 things we can offer you to fit vibe, to fit budget, to fit style, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you need to have that conversation, or sorry, have that conversation with your other half, your fiance, about what you're looking for in a package and then what do they offer when you're hunting. So then the likelihood is they're going to want to chat.
I think it's really important.
It's super, and if they don't, for me personally, it's just an opinion. For me personally, that's a bit of a red flag. It's like today, for example, I've come off a week of gigs, thousands of miles up and down the country. Got back to London last night, moved my brother into his house, and then left London at 6:30 this morning, and got back to where we live in the Midlands. And then jumped on calls for 8 hours straight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I want to chat to my clients, I want to get to know them, I want to get a feel for what they want and whether we're going to be the right supplier for them. And I think it's super, super important with entertainment, with something that will make or break your wedding day as much as entertainment will. I think you've got to be getting on a call with them. Especially if, for example, they're going to host your wedding day.
Yeah.
Or they're...
Just to get to know each other, really, isn't it?
Exactly, because you're putting a lot of trust into these people to make or break your wedding day effectively.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and if you're going to have somebody in your face in the evening on the dance floor, you've got to probably want to get along with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I think booking in a call is really, really important. And this is going back to what I said about caterers as well, is let them talk as well. Let them listen. Don't let them. So when the format of a call for me is very much.
Don't give away all your secrets.
I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but very much, I want to hear about your wedding before I tell you about what I can offer you.
Yeah, but I suppose on that you're able to tell exactly where you would be able to fit in if you found. Obviously, when you ask that question, you're able to think like, actually, what I was going to say is not going to fit in with that.
No.
Why don't I try?
So we adapt
this?
it.
Yeah.
You need a company then that are flexible, because we can always sort something for someone, if that makes sense. Now, when you're speaking about what they can offer you, you need to, like I said, listen to what they can offer you, but also make sure you're quite clear about what you would like. You know, you might not know, and that's okay, but that's where you've just got to listen to loads of options.
Yeah.
Lots of different options. But on that call, make sure that they fit your vibe. Like, on a call, I'm very chit-chatty, down-to-earth.
You're like that in real life, though.
Yeah, but as in, I'm not very prim and proper sales. Like, I've got something rockets on, but it's normally just a polo or a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it's very much like, how you doing? Tell me about your engagement. Was it a surprise? All of this kind of thing. And just getting to know that client, that couple, as much as I can. But that's also giving you guys, as a couple, potential couple of the Rockets Collective, to listen to me and make sure that I fit your vibe as a person, and make sure that you click with me, because we're going to be planning possibly the most important part of your wedding day together.
Yeah, definitely.
All by legally getting married. Like, the most important part of your wedding party together. So you've got to make sure that they fit your vibe and that you get on with them. I think you need to discuss band size and band lineup. Like, again, this will have happened when you align your visions, but the pre-hunt. But do you want a big band? Do you want a small band? Do you have to have a sax player in the band? Do you want male vocals, female vocals, both? There's a lot of decisions to be made there. And then on the call, chat about the different lineup options. So we offer a 7-piece, a 9-piece, and a 12-piece band.
Yeah.
Right? But within that, the 9-piece, for example, is flexible. You can have more horns, or you can have more vocals, and things like that. So,
I suppose it depends what you're looking for as well.
Exactly. So this is where, having done some pre-chat, if you like, with your fiance, is going to help you on a call, because then you're going to start triggering different things while you're on a call.
Yeah.
But talk about lineup and things like that. So, for example, with the Rockets Collective, regardless of whatever size band you book, you're guaranteed male, female vocals and saxophone.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a guarantee.
Which is very popular at the moment.
Very, very popular. Very, very popular. And then obviously drums, bass, guitar, piano as well. So and then it grows from there, but you're always going to have a saxophone. And then, again, I'm going to go back to it, discuss the daytime options in a bit more depth.
Yeah.
Don't just think, they can look after our ceremony. Brilliant. What are they going to do? And ask
Are they
things
just
like,
going to press play and hope for the best?
Exactly, and charge you through the roof for it. Are they going to bring in a string quartet, in which case you're probably going to face higher fuel and accommodation travel, expenses, because their likelihood is they're not going to be used in the evening.
True.
So, whereas at the Rockets, all bar the string quartet that we offer, everybody that's involved during the day is then in the band in the evening.
Yeah.
So it works really nice when we drip feed these musicians through the day.
Yeah.
And then culminates in this big party at the end of the day, which is really, really nice.
Correct.
And then you need to speak to them about repertoire.
Yeah.
Really, really important.
Because you might want, I don't know, rock.
Yeah?
That was the first one that came into my head. And
But you're right. If you want a pop punk band, the Rockets Collective aren't the right band.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Screamo.
Screamo. Most people, yeah. I mean, the thing you've got to think about repertoire is, and we'll talk about this on a more dedicated podcast, but yes, it is your wedding. Yes, it's all about you two. But you've got other people there, and if you want a full dance floor, you've got to pick music wisely.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah, you've just got to pick music wisely, and lean on your supplier.
Yeah.
I'd say this is where listening to them comes into play.
And then we'll talk more about that in 100%. Future episode.
Discuss repertoire with them and what they specialise in, and things like that. So, and then it's also good to be aware, because hopefully by this point, most of the time, you will have signed a contract with the venue. At this point, there are some times that I'm doing. So I've got a call on Thursday night, and they haven't quite got their venue locked in. They're between two venues, but they know they want us, so they've got a date, and being held at two venues. We're being held at two venues.
Okay, cool.
So.
I don't think they had a date when they inquired.
No, it moves on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was a couple of weeks ago because we've been very busy. But it's really important that you guys are making your musicians or DJ or whatever aware if you have any sound restrictions. Because if you've got a 95 decibel sound limiter, I just simply can't bring in a 12-piece band. It will be too loud.
Correct, yeah. And then you might need to hire... I mean, if it was like 80 decibel, you might need to hire in some equipment, like
electric drum kits and things like that, or do the venue make you play through your own sound system, or their own sound system, and what rules do the venue have? So just having that conversation and making sure that your supplier can adapt to a certain extent to work and comply with the venue restrictions. And then there's
there. Yeah, sorry, go for it.
I'm just going to say the decision.
Yeah, I was going to say then you've probably reached your decision, what you want to do, get that contract signed.
Again, read the contract.
Read it in full.
Sign it and return the deposit in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Just wedding etiquette, it's very much appreciated by suppliers.
Yeah.
But then, and start getting excited about your entertainment, because this is gonna be the best part of your wedding day.
Yeah.
It just will. And whatever you've chosen to go for, it's going to be wicked. So start getting excited, talk to your supplier, start thinking about tracks. What people do, you can do I think it's called a collaboration on Spotify, where you have a playlist that, and I advise my couples to do this, where you have both of you can add to the playlist. And you don't have to then pick every song, but you're just thinking, oh, do you know what, I really like this song, I'll bang it in the playlist. And then it might come on for you when you're listening to the playlist and be like, do you know what, I don't really like that. I'll remember to chat to Tom about it later.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But I really like this song. But
then I suppose it gets you used to what they like, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, if you're marrying someone, you probably know roughly what they like.
No, as in you as the supplier.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can see that. I understand. Sorry. I thought, you probably want to know what your other half likes before you...
Depends how eclectic the music taste is.
I mean, you've got a fantastically broad music taste, haven't you?
Here we go.
What do you mean, here we go?
I do actually have quite a broad one.
You do have quite a broad one, but you have a addictive music taste, I'd call it.
Addictive?
Yeah, because you're like, these are my 3 songs for the month, and I'm just going to listen to them on repeat.
Yeah, then I get bored of it, and I'll never listen to it again.
And then they got used to be obsessed, absolutely obsessed with Lizzo.
Oh, she's very controversial. I can't talk about her.
But when she was not controversial,
yeah,
you used to really like Lizzo, and now you've gone off Lizzo.
Should we share my fun fact? The Spotify rap.
Go on.
Before she was controversial, I was her top 0.0001% listener.
So you listened to her the most out of everybody, pretty much. Fantastic.
I was basically a number 1 fan.
And then she tried charging 180 quid for a ticket, and I was like, no way.
Well, that wasn't a controversial bit, but we won't get into the
No,
politics.
I
of it,
know.
so-
We're not getting into the politics of that, but I was put off by the fact that she was charging £108 a ticket.
Yeah, I was really upset about that at the time. But now
anyway.
I'm in my Meghan Trainor era.
Meghan Trainor, and I will tolerate Meghan Trainor. So
Good.
So
No, we do generally listen to quite a lot of different things.
we do, yeah. And then on our wedding day, is obviously we had the Rockets Collective play,
Yeah.
but it was so we were happy to leave the Rockets to the set list, if that makes sense. And because we know, and sometimes if you're like, we just love this band, like we get this a lot, where we really love what the band do, like we really love you guys, we trust you to just do our thing, do your thing.
Yeah. And I will say, you might not love every single song that your band plays.
But a lot of people will.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people on that dance floor will, even if you don't.
I mean, I'm also very biased, and I think your company and your band's the best thing ever.
That's not biased.
But, well, I would agree.
Fact.
But
Anyway.
there's one particular song that I'm like, oh,
What is
I hate
it?
this song.
I don't know this.
Happy.
Oh, yeah, we don't really do that anymore.
No, but I'm just saying, like, previously, like, when you used to do Happy, or there's another one, I was just like, why
Happy
are
by
you
Pharrell.
doing
Yeah,
this?
but like the Happy by Pharrell is really good for when you've got like mums and grandmas on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Because it's a pop song. They feel really modern. Obviously, it's not really, but they feel really current and hip and up. With the,
and it's easy to sing back, I suppose.
And they know the words,
There's only
exactly.
one
and then you get the Rockets Collective, who then, in the middle of it, just get a limbo competition going on the dance floor.
You can't share all your trade secrets.
They're on Instagram.
I actually don't think they are.
No, it should be, because it looks cool. It is somewhere. But anyway.
I don't think that they are.
We want to be chatting to your supplier.
Yeah.
About repertoire.
Yeah.
I think that's where we were going with that.
I can't remember where we were going with that.
We got a bit sidetracked.
But we're just going to keep on going now.
We said get excited about and start Spotify playlists. So chat to your supplier about repertoire, and as you go along, like build that Spotify playlist. It's going to be really, really useful for later on. Oh, what sort of music are you into? Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Questions.
I was going to say, should we just quickly whip through some questions?
Quick fire. Through some questions. Talk about payment plan. And you can do this with a lot of venues. Sorry, a lot of suppliers.
Yeah, I just put this on because I know that we
offer that.
Yeah.
But is there an option, and when is money due? So what's the deposit situation? What's the final balance situation? What about additions? Can you add things on as you go along? So with the Rockets, for example, once we lock something in, it's locked in. But if you want to add on later on, absolutely fine.
99% of the chance this evening. Actually, 100% if it's locked in, you have your evening band.
Well, we don't do anything without the evening.
Yeah.
So you lock in the evening, and if you know, for example, like I've had a client this afternoon, that really knew she wanted me to host the wedding, the roaming band, and the show band in the evening, but wasn't sure about an extra set from the band in the evening.
Oh, yeah,
make it a bit longer, so just add that on later.
Yeah.
Or even the drinks reception, she wasn't 100% sure on. So that kind of thing. And then, obviously, we've just discussed this, but what type of music? Like, what do they play? Set list. What's the set length and all of that kind of thing? First dance, are they going to play it live for you? Do you want to do a first dance?
We won't touch on this.
We'll do it another time.
But yeah.
But do you want to do a first dance? If you do, can your band play it live for you, or do you want a record?
Do they actually on that? Do they learn songs for you on their requests?
Yes. Yeah. Are there requests? Yeah. And I don't think you can expect a band to learn a whole new set list for your wedding.
No.
If they don't do that, then you've picked the wrong band.
Yeah.
But I think some requests are appropriate.
Yeah.
And then just touching about how long do they play for? The Rockets Collective as standard is 2 hours. But you can break that down.
I was going to say, can you break it down?
However you like. 340s, 260s. Most popular at the moment is 40 and then an hour and 20. So we have lots of party towards the end of the night. Can you add extra sets, like I suggested? But make sure that you're getting... A lot of bands will only do 2 45-minute sets.
Mm.
So are you paying the market value for that?
Yeah.
Is it quite pricey to do 45, an hour and a half rather than 2 hours? What happens between and after their sets? Again, we touched on this, but do they provide a playlist? Do they get to use your playlist that you've put together? Do they bring in a DJ? Or is there nothing? And you have to think about that. Like, what's the options there? So it's definitely something to consider, because If a band stop playing, there's loads of energy, and then it's just silence while everyone's sitting there having their evening buffet.
It really cringes me
It's
out.
painful. I mean, we don't allow that, but
No.
we've been to weddings as guests where that's happened, and
Yeah,
it's
you're lying.
quite painful. And then, do they bring in their sound and lighting equipment, or do you have to hire that in? Do you require what's called a production team?
Yeah.
And how does that work? What's the logistics behind that, and who deals with what? Or do they bring in all their own sound and lighting and things like that? Then, and what do they bring in? And is it going to ask them to explain it to you in layman's terms if you don't understand? Like, that's absolutely fine. They should take the time to do that. Musicians love speaking about equipment, so they'll happily talk to you about that. Travel. Will the band travel? How far do they travel? There's not really a limit on where the Rockets Collective will travel.
Well, we're about to do Malaga.
We're going to Malaga in August.
We've done Belfast.
We've done the Lake
Italy.
District. We're going to Italy, possibly America, possibly Germany. Like, we go, and the Spanish islands and things like that. We go all over.
Yeah.
But even in the UK, like, we were
Have we done a Scottish one yet?
No. I
That's
have.
really interesting.
I have.
I know you have. If you remember the episode, we did talk about it.
That was the Chicken Big Mac episode.
Yeah.
But we will, for example, this month, the Rockets, just to name a few, we've been in Manchester, we've been in Cornwall, we've been there in Hampshire, we've been in Berkshire, we've been in the Lake District, we've been in central London, we've been in Surrey, been in where? Belfast, we've been in Derbyshire. Like, we just go all over, and then obviously August is also very, very similarly spread out. But do they travel? What some bands will say, this is the price for within an hour of X. So is that, or for us, we do all of our travel bespoke because we don't want to overcharge people, but also can't be undercharging people. So then, but don't get caught out by, or don't, for example, if you're getting married in Yorkshire and you want the Rockets Collective, we're from London, we're going to be needing to travel the day before, realistically. If we're looking after the whole day,
at the end of the
it's safety and it's assurance of quality of the product.
Yeah.
If we've had to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning to drive up, to be there for, say, 10, and for you guys as well, the safety of traffic and things like that, like if we're travelling that kind of distance. But obviously, like, if we're within a certain radius, we just travel home the same night because we want to get back to our own bed.
In the most ideal world, we would like to get back to our own bed.
Yeah, of course.
However,
we don't aim to stay in hotels, but we've got to prioritise safety.
As I say, you have to prioritise safety.
And then even then, make sure that your band aren't taking the Michael when it comes to, like, for the Rockets, for example, we're 2 to a room in a Premier Inn or Travelodge or something similar. But if you've got people that are saying, oh no, we have to have single rooms, unless there's kind of like a gender issue, not issue, but like a gender difference, then it should be, I don't think they need a room each, if I'm being honest.
No.
And then sound limits, we've already spoken about that. Ask those questions, make sure they can deal with that. And then, we've already spoken about this briefly, do you get to choose the songs in the sets? If a band says, yes, you can choose every song in the set, red flag. Because they don't take set building seriously. I always use the example, a few years back, Coldplay. Absolutely love Coldplay. I'd love to see Coldplay live at some point. But just, I'd love to see Coldplay live at some point. Wink, wink.
So would everyone.
Yeah, but wink.
You
Just in
could
case.
buy us Coldplay tickets.
We could buy us Coldplay.
Well, there we go. So why was it me that had to do it?
I was just letting you know. Anyway, they released a song called Adventure of a Lifetime. It goes, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop singing because I sound horrendous and I'm knackered. But everybody requested that.
Yeah.
And it just emptied a dance floor. I've never seen a song empty a dance floor like that.
Yeah, everyone sang along, but it just like...
It's not a very danceable song.
No, it's not.
So this is what you've got to think. And rely on your... So the way I do it is I ask for my couples to look at our repertoire list, choose stuff they really like and choose stuff they really don't like.
Yeah.
And then from there, we say, let's say, I don't know, Tom and M, for example, because that's us, right? Tom and M's
top
preferences.
Pick, yeah.
Okay, with the top picks and the maybe nots, but combine that with a Rockets Collective show.
Yeah.
We've got this perfect hybrid set list of stuff that we know, you know the guests way better than we will.
Yeah.
But stuff that you know is going to work with your guests and for you too, as your preferences, but also that we know from our experience fills a dance floor. So really, really important with that. Can you think of any other questions? No? I think that's about
Not
it.
like obviously there are way more questions to ask. But actually,
but
in
then-
this concise episode, no.
Yeah, no, we'll go into it in a bit more detail. So, very quick 30-second roundup. I'm going to take it.
Go for it.
Yeah?
You've
So,
got 30 seconds now.
30 seconds start from
Now.
now. So, I've crumbled already. Discuss before the hunt begins the budget, what sort of vibe you're after, and do you want evening or daytime entertainment? When you're hunting, don't use agencies if you can avoid it. Check out the social media, check the reviews, see what packages they can do, and what each entertainment options that each band offers, so similar to packages. When you're on the call, or definitely booking a call if they don't want to speak to you, probably not a good idea. Make sure they fit their vibe, check what they can offer you, listen to them, listen to what they have to say and how they want to build your sets, talk about repertoire and sound limitations and things like that. I'm nearly done. Decision, read the contract, pay in a timely manner, and then listen to those questions and make sure you get answers to all of them. Bosh, that was my most concise one.
Well done.
It's probably the thing I know the most about in the wedding industry.
I would hope so.
I haven't spoken too much about the host this episode. So, but we are going to do a separate
Yeah, we
MCing
are.
hosting. We're planning lots of episodes, but we're going to do a separate evening entertainment. We're going to do a separate daytime entertainment. Maybe even split that up, and we're going to do a separate MC host, pros and cons of friends versus professionals and all that kind of thing. But yeah, we're both really grateful that you guys are still checking in. You guys are still listening. We're trying to grow the show as much as we can. So we want to start getting some guests on the I Do Not Have a Clue sofa. So please do let us know what sort of guests you'd like on. Remember to share this as far and as wide as you possibly can. But I'm going to say it one more time. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
We've had loads of fun speaking to you guys and chatting all things entertainment. We will see you on the next episode of the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. See you later.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast.
If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
If you listen to us on Spotify, don't forget to follow us so you don't miss the next episode of the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. Oh, and while you're there, do us a solid and rate us 5 stars.